Hey gang, so today's another sponsored video by GEEONE, and this time they have sent through the Ding Ding slider in stainless steel black. You can get this on the site right now for $49.90, and if you use the code Fidget, you can get 10% off. This is actually a pretty fun, simple little slider. It's got some good action to it, it's got some fun sounds, it's got a little ding. We're gonna take it apart, we're gonna see how it works, we're gonna see what makes it ding, and we're gonna see if it's easy to put back together or not, because they aren't always. It's the Ding Ding slider. Let's go. Okay, here we have the Ding Ding slider in stainless steel black. Now this is an interesting one because it has some things I really like about it and it has some things that I'm not crazy about. So let's just kind of get to it. We'll open it up, we'll have a look. Now the first thing is obviously the name, and the name comes from this sound. I'm gonna hold this up to the microphone and do it. So there is a dinging sound when that happens. We're gonna open it up, we're gonna see what's actually causing that. So the action on it feels really nice. This nice kind of quick slide up, and then this 10 click down. You can click it up slowly if you want, and 10 click down to the middle, but then you can keep going the other way too, obviously. So I play with this a lot. One of the things I've really grown to love is this. Just this little kind of clicky kind of two step. And if you see, I'm just kind of moving it. Very minor movements up and down. This part is great. The way it moves, the way it sort of responds is pretty sweet. Nice little lanyard hole here. I haven't used a lanyard in it, but it is there. Now the issue with a lanyard on a slider of this type, on a track slider, means you're only really pushing one side of it. So you are kind of determining that this plate is the one you move and you're not moving the bottom plate. Now that's okay because this also has the, I believe this is black Teflon, has the track. So you can move the track side if you want. Actually, there's no reason why you couldn't, but it's sort of thicker. It's got a thicker feel to it when you move it, even though it's really not. There's something about it that just feels like there's more. And I guess it's just because you're moving the track and everything along the plate instead of moving the plate along the track. So let's open it up. Now, actually, before I do, the only other thing I want to cover though is this does have some hot spots on it. And the hot spots are created from this little edge. This detailing in here, this little lip, which is actually typically a nice, normally this would be like a nice little design detail, but I find it actually adds a little bit of a sharpness to it. And if you've seen any of my reviews before, I don't like things that are sharp, that have like a sharp edge to them. I just find they kind of create hot spots, and this I find is one of them. When I push into my fingers a lot like this, it typically just gets this corner jammed in, and the corners are just a little sharp. So am I nitpicking? Maybe, but it's my review, so I'll say and do whatever I want. And that is, that's an element that I would like to see corrected in a lot of designs, are these sharp, sharp edges. We don't really need them. I'm guessing it's probably more expensive to round out edges like that. It's probably a little cheaper to just sort of finish them off flat, but it does leave this little, just kind of like a little grindy edge. And especially in the lanyard hole, if you happen to pass your finger over it, that's pretty sharp in there as well. So that doesn't feel nice in here. But other than that, you know, if that kind of thing doesn't bother you, I know a lot of people have different hands, different skin texture. And if that doesn't bother you, then, you know, everything else about it is great. I actually really like this. I play with this all the time. I do find if I play with it like this, you don't really get the ding. You need to really do like a slow click down. All right, let's open it up. Now this has a track, so we know that this is sitting on this track here. And the ball itself, we can see there's a ball in here. And that ball is what keeps these guys in the track. And then there is very likely going to be a set of 2 balls in the middle of this track pushing against this hole. So what does that tell us? That tells us when we take this track off, we're gonna have pieces all over the place. So what I wanna do is I am going to carefully undo this first screw with the Allen key that's provided. Or yeah, I guess it's Allen key. Okay, so we have this one. We're going to take this screw out. Put there. Now I'm going to slide the other side. I'm going to reveal the other screw. Now I'm still pressing down. I'm pressing down hard on the lid because I felt it release. I don't want it releasing yet. I want to line it up perfectly, and then I'm going to very slowly pull up. So I find when you do that, you determine the speed. Now look at that. This just popped up perfectly. Okay, I thought these were balls. They're not. These are just little screws that slide into the grooves here. Well, they slide in their holes, and then these screws kind of keep everything in the track. So it's like a pin, almost like a screw-in pin. And so here we have our Teflon plate. And that's it, really. And then we've got the 2 balls. So there's not a lot to it. Now, I guess the part of the ding-ding is that these are glass balls. So the glass balls probably give it a bit of that resonance, that dinging sound. Because other than that, I feel like this would just be, you know, this wouldn't be much different from any other kind of slider with balls. Oh, look at that. Everything is moving over now. Let's get you back in there. Okay, let's get some tweezers in here before this goes crazy. Okay. Now, I don't like using fine tip tweezers to pick up balls. So I'm going to go with a wider tip. Please don't go flying. And of course it dropped into the groove. Now again, I'm always happy when this happens because it shows everybody what can happen when you're putting these things together. Now, what makes this challenging, of course, to anybody that's ever done a review like this on camera, as it were, is you're not approaching it top down the way you normally would, because right now my camera is in the way. So you're always kind of looking at it from a bit of an angle, which is annoying. Absolutely, it's annoying. Okay, and let's get that. Now, I could actually just do, here's the trick. I could do this, right? But this has to be in here, in this track, for me to put it on. So I kind of have to do it this way, even though I don't want to. There we go. Okay, so we have our 2 glass balls. Now we do have these extra little holes here, and that just seems to be, oh, that's for our screws here, of course. So this happens all the time when we take things apart and you find these holes. You're like, wait, what are these holes for? Well, they're for the screws, you idiot. So now that I have this out, we can see what it is. It's very, very simple, just these glass balls on springs. I'm going to be very careful when I lay this back on top. So I have my holes here. I'm going to make sure this is lined up, and I'm going to put my thumbs on the ends to make sure it doesn't move, because I don't want to press too hard or these balls are going to pop off the spring. So That's it. And then once that's on, I want to press hard because again, I don't want to let that ball or spring lift at all. Like I'm putting a lot of pressure on here because I want to hold it tight to make sure it's not going anywhere. Then I'll get the screw in. Make sure that that's down decent tight. Now you could, I'm sure we could tune this. Let's see, I'm gonna check out in a minute what we got for it for these different, if we got any different balls or springs. I don't think we did. There we go. Okay, so it comes with spare screws. Now this is a little trickier to see, but there are 2 more glass balls inside of there. Okay, right in the bag, there and there. Plus, we get some replacement springs, which are great because these springs are really, really tough to keep track of. And that's it. Once it's together, it's happy. Still dinging. All right, gang. That is the Ding Ding slider in stainless steel black. Thanks for watching.